Recording in progress.
First time I've ever had to use that. We'd like to welcome citizens and staff to our city council meeting tonight. We'll excuse the mayor. And before we start with a prayer and a pledge, I would accept a motion to call for Mayor Pro Tem.
I make a motion that we appoint Bob Prosgard as Mayor Pro Temp.
I'll second.
I have a motion, a second. By roll call vote, Lacey?
Yes, but mine's not working.
Brian?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Bob? Yes. And Ann?
Yes.
Motion carries. I'll offer the word of prayer, and then I've asked our attorney if he would give us or help assist us in the pledge. Our Father in heaven, we bow our heads this evening, grateful as citizens of Payson to come together and to do the business that needs to be accomplished this evening. And we invite thy Spirit here in doing so, that we as a council may come together and make the decisions that are best for our community. Father, we note the absence of our mayor this evening, and we ask that the surgeries that were performed on him today will bring him back to us speedily, that the doctors that assist him and attend him will use their wisdom and knowledge that will return him back to Mayor of Payson. We give thanks for the moisture that's being received throughout the state. We continue to pray for moisture here, Father, and ask that thou will be mindful of our needs. We pray that our citizenry will continue to be cautious in the water and conservative that they use, that we might be able to participate with other communities in saving the necessary water. To this end, Father, we pray now in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Please stand up. Repeat after me. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Still my mic and get it, Lacey.
No, she already got in there.
Is it working, Lacey?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We have the consent agenda this evening. We have the approval of the July 1st, 2026 council meeting minutes, the confirmation of the monthly financial information, a resolution allowing additional properties in the Pony Express Inland Port. And I assume council's had an opportunity to look at that one specifically. The water conservation plan update. That is our consent agenda for this evening. I would accept the motion.
I have a couple statements and questions on that. I am grateful for the expansion of the inland port opportunities for businesses that will help both Payson and the residents and the businesses. I do have a question about the water conservation plan update. On there, it was included a fee schedule. Did any of those fees change?
I don't think so.
No, but they talked about the tier stuff, right?
Mm-mm, the
Changing.
tiered
Mhm.
usage based,
Especially for like
payment based on
culinary.
usage. Yeah.
We haven't changed any of those tiers, but they are tiered rates.
And those have been tiered rates before, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, so none of those fees are increasing.
I thought that it
Okay.
said that the tier 2 for culinary possibly was.
I think it would have to come to this body for our rate.
It would.
Okay.
I think that's what it said. Here's some things that you could do to preserve more water.
Okay.
The state's encouraging us to, especially the higher tiers, more water, encourage more
Okay.
conservation, but I don't think we take any steps. We do have the tiered rates, but we haven't raised them.
Okay, I was just,
We're not changing the fees.
okay, very
Okay.
good. I wanted to clarify that before we voted on that we're not changing the fees. Thank you.
I had a couple questions really quick. It talked about from 2021 to this one, it had talked about an audit program, but it hadn't started yet from what I read. Is that correct? Are we going to start it? Because it recommended it in 2021 and it sounded like like auditing like where the leakage and different meters.
My understanding is that is ongoing.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that, and then I know it talked about like education for residents, but I know that lately people have been talking a lot about the different programs to like that you can get incentives to help change up landscape and such. If we can maybe just like proactively include that stuff, I think that would be beneficial. And even if there's areas in the city, like our landscape, I think that would be really beneficial.
That's a really good segue into saying we have actually worked with the what's the
Central Utah.
Thank you.
Conservation.
To
Yeah.
develop some plans for, especially along American Way, to basically do a demonstration garden along there to say this is what water conservation can look like, and we have actually budgeted to do that probably in the spring.
So that can be an example to residents and other businesses of what the Flip Your Strip program in particular could look like.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And residents have taken advantage of that.
Okay. And we still have that like incentive that they can, okay.
Yeah.
Because some had asked.
So the city had to adopt specific landscaping standards in order for our residents to be eligible for the rebate program through Central Utah.
Okay. Overall, though, it looked like the usage like was down, so that's great.
Yeah, that is good.
Has to go into the state every year.
I did have one thing on it too is figure 5-2. It shows available water that we have in Payson. It'd be probably good to let people know that in Payson we have a lot of available water, and they're always worried about water for growth. But if you look at how much water we're using for what we have available coming to us, we're in really good shape. So I think it'd be good to let people know that.
When that federal water comes, ULS water, it would be in good shape for a long time. It's expensive water, but yeah, paper water,
We're good.
We're good. Have drought situations.
Real water is a different story. Yep.
Any further discussion? I'll accept a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second,
Go ahead.
second,
Second by Councilmember Moss. Councilmember Moss.
yes.
Councilmember Proscard, yes. Councilmember Ryan.
Yes.
Here we go again.
I
Mhm.
know. Councilmember
Yes.
Hewlett. Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, Jim. Chamber of Commerce quarterly report and update.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
This is official.
Yeah. Next time it'll actually be in a packet if you want it.
Well, Jim's passing that out. We participated with a ribbon cutting ceremony with Jim and the council and the chamber down at Jersey Mike's this morning. What a fun event. Thank you, Jim, for your efforts.
Well, you took my first bullet point.
Oh, sorry.
No, it was great. We're so excited to have them here, and they did not know that Lowe's was being built in their backyard.
Right.
So they're pretty excited to find out that news. So that's going to be very good. A little area of commerce right there. So we keep getting better at the Chamber of Commerce. I am Jim Rowland, the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. And we put together an actual quarterly report this time around. We meant to get it to you a week earlier, so it was in your packet. So next quarter, I think we'll be able to do that. Just to kind of summarize some of the bullet points in here, we really work hard to impact the community as well as our businesses. And I think you'll see that throughout the packet. Our monthly meet and eat lunches right now are bringing in 30, 40, sometimes 50 people. We're meeting in different locations around town, which introduces people to new locations that either are new in business or new to them. So we've done a really good job of breaking in some newer businesses in town. We successfully partnered with Santaquin City again to kick off the incredible Santaquin Hometown Market. Last Monday, or this past Monday, we actually had 62 booths, including 6 food trucks, live entertainment, a couple bounce houses. The crowds actually weren't as big this month as they were, or this week as they were a couple weeks ago, where we probably pushed well over 1,000 people at the first couple events. So the exciting news to report is we've agreed with Payson City to pull off a Payson hometown market as well, which we are predicting will be right out here on this lovely lawn, where we can easily get 62 booths and food trucks and lots of people to come. So we're excited to put all that together starting next year. And we worked with WICP, the Payson Central Tech Project groundbreaking. Excited for that project. I know you guys are very familiar with that. That's going to really bring in a lot of great businesses. Our chamber's growing and highly engaged. We welcome 28 new members. This year we have an 89% retention rate as we work together with our new staff. Oh, which reminds me, I forgot to put in our new staff in our quarterly report. Probably the best thing that happened all quarter for me. So we hired 2 new employees, a secretary and a COO, Nalissi Donegan and David Rowley. And we've been trying to split up the responsibilities of operations and events, which is really going to help us progress and grow the chamber and support the businesses. And financially, we finished the first half of the year in a stable position. We generated $46,190 in total revenue against $44,208 in expenses. Unofficial numbers at this point, leaving us with a net positive revenue of $1,982. And we have some events coming up. The Garage to Great Workshop, which was a big success at MTech, the Payson campus last year. So we'll be doing that on October 22nd. And our annual awards gala on February 4th in Santaquin. So if you can get February 4th on your calendars now, then we would love to have all of you and, of course, the mayor and our city leaders to make time in our schedule to come and join us for that fun event. We worked with Robert to learn a little bit about the park tax and shared that opportunity at Scottish Festival with the residents. I would say most people have no idea what we're talking about when I bring it up until I tell them all the things that it has contributed to. So it really seems like a no-brainer to get that passed, but I think we have some education to do to make sure people really understand where all that money has gone for the last 10 years. And Jersey Mike's, like I said, was a big success today. And that is my report. So any questions or comments?
Jem, thank you so much for all the work that you do. We have a great Chamber of Commerce who've done so much work and a really great group of people. And it's an honor for me to serve on that board just as a city council member. But you guys do a
Just a
great
city
job.
council member. You're
Just,
an
yes.
important asset on our board. Thank you.
But you guys are awesome, and please tell them all thank you for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I even see we have a net revenue this year. So that's
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
A little better report than last
Yeah,
year. So
we're halfway through the year and we haven't received your money yet in the pot. So that should show
well,
good for
keep-
the last.
We approved it. The budget's approved, so
Yeah.
check's in the mail.
Oh, yes, the city money. I thought about me specifically. I was like, don't hold your breath. Okay, yeah. You're in the budget. You're good.
You're welcome to join the Chamber of Commerce too, you know. So
Checks in the
it
mail.
is good news. So we've worked really hard. The grant last year really helped, keep some of our expenses down. So we would love to get another grant, and hopefully we've got the manpower now to go after some more of those,
Yeah.
which really contributes to the communities.
Okay.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Any
Thank
other,
you.
any other questions or comments? Thanks, Jim.
All right. Thank you very much.
Moving on, I-15 interchange update. Is Mr. Loveland here from UDOT? So I guess we'll continue
This
this
is like
again.
the third time he's canceled on us.
Dude,
What's
Let
going
me
on?
do a quick one though. We were able to meet with UDOT last week, giving a little bit of update on some meetings that they've been having with the Federal Highways Division. They the state representatives of Federal Highways have been reviewing this project, and they had a few questions about our interchange and how it works and things like that. And they had reached out to UDOT to come up with some solutions that would avoid having further review in DC. So we really appreciated that as Payson City. We appreciate that partnership that UDOT has with the Federal Highways Division, specifically within the state. They're going to be proposing some possible measures that would maybe be needed, including, some sort of barrier at North Main Street to prevent left turn lanes into, or left turn actions into McDonald's if you're northbound and things like that, as a safety precaution, just to make sure that things are working. It might not be necessary, but those are measures that, if they were ever needed, might take place. They just wanted to get Payson City's okay with that. We are supportive of that, just to improve the safety along that area, and also to encourage McDonald's to consider a continuation of that road right there. So we were supportive of that, but basically we just wanted to update you all, let you know that that was happening, but let you know that relationships are really good. So thanks.
I guess the big question is are we still on schedule?
Yes.
That's the big elephant in the room. All right, moving on. Number 3, public forum. Anything that the citizenry would like to bring before the council that is not on the agenda? We'd ask you to keep your comments short and concise, and you're welcome to come forward now if you'd state your name.
Speak now or forever hold my peace.
That's exactly right.
I'm Sandy Huff. Asked me to represent them tonight, just to make you aware of an event that we're doing for our community. We do this, it's a free backpack giveaway, and the backpacks are filled with school supplies, and it's for school-age children that normally would not have the backpacks and the supplies to go to school. So I have left each of you with one of these. It does have a QR code. And so if you know anybody that might be in need of help, if you just want to pass that information, if you would pass that information, then we would really appreciate it. We plan to do about 1,200 backpacks each year. So, and I think most of you are familiar with Tabitha's. So we do appreciate at this backpack giveaway, it will be over at the Landmark High School in Spanish Fork. And they also have other services available, like each year the Lions Club goes over and just does eye testing, and we can refer, if anybody needs glasses, then we can refer them to an eye doctor. And then the Lions Club works in conjunction with them to pay for the exam and the glasses. And there are other services also that are available over at this backpack giveaway. So we just wanted you to be aware that that's what we try to do for Nebo School District every year. And if you know somebody, then we would like to make sure that everybody that needs one gets a chance. And we appreciate the support that we get from Payson community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thanks, Sandy.
What a worthy cause. Anyone else like to come forward? Is there anybody on Zoom that's got their hand up? Not seeing that we have any other, that we'll move on to council and staff reports. Staff?
I'll jump up really quick, council members. A few things. Just first of all, hopefully all of you saw the announcement that about our Onion Days concert. Aaron Watson will be coming. We would ask that you promote that. We're excited this year to be more participatory in that concert, and there's a lot of effort that goes into planning that. And we really appreciate the hospital for their continued support, and everybody here at Payson City that's been really pulling out a lot to do that. Couple other things. We had our first Friday event in downtown. Several of you were there at that. Probably about over 1,000 people for that event. It's really great to see the community come together for those types of things. If there's any businesses in the sound of my voice, I hope that they participate more in that in the future. I think it would be great. It's an awesome opportunity for people to come downtown, and we would love their participation. We really appreciate the Historic Downtown Group for their support of that event. The Business Retention Committee of the Economic Development Board, we are sponsoring an event for small businesses tomorrow. It's a networking event. It's like a taste of Payson. We've sent out over 300 invitations to the Payson community. It'll be here in this room where we've invited lots of different food vendors, restaurants, and everything to come and just bring samples of what they offer and provide an opportunity for those businesses to collaborate, find ways that they can support each other, and let them know that the city is also very supportive of all of their efforts, and we appreciate that. So that'll be tomorrow here in the chambers from 6:30 to 8. You're all welcome to attend that as well. There should be some good food here, so we're excited. And then I can't believe Jim didn't mention this, but planning for the Payson Christmas Festival has started. That was not the Christmas in July I was expecting yesterday, but we're excited for that. That'll be the Saturday following Thanksgiving. Again, thinking about different vendors. Last year was hugely successful. And so we just want to make sure that that's on your calendar. There'll be a lot of events. The day before that will be Santa Dash and lighting a patini, and then a lighting of the Christmas tree in downtown the next day. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other staff that would like to come to council? Not saying that, we'll go to Council Member Moss.
Okay. I just wanted to say how awesome it was to be part of the Scottish Festival this last week. I walked in the parade with Bob and the mayor, and waved at a few people. It's always kind of awkward walking in a in a parade because no one's there to see you, really. They're just there to see the bands and their kids and all that stuff. So but it was just amazing to hear the bagpipes and see all the community support, and bagpipes are near and dear to my heart. So that it always gets to you. It's just an emotional sound. But I love that Payson embraces the Scottish heritage. And then that same night, it was an honor to go to the Fireman's Barbecue and have just the most delicious steak you have all year. Like, it is really, really good. And so, Chief Spencer, thanks for the invitation. And it's always good to talk to the current and retired firefighters and EMS people. And what an amazing bunch of people. And it always reminds me of my grandpa, who was a firefighter for decades. And so, just good people. And then last city council, I wasn't able to be here. I wasn't feeling well. So I just wanted to make a comment. It was near the 4th of July, and I just wanted to make a comment on how much I love our country and freedoms we enjoy. And I love this flag and I love this country, and I'm grateful for all all of it. So, and thanks to all of our staff and how amazing you guys are. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Ryan.
Thank you, Bob. I want to thank uh, the landscaping crews around the city. I think Main Street looks awesome. The little rock stream there, that's been well maintained. All the parks, the grass is already recovering from the Scottish Festival. So really, make sure your crews know that our city looks really good right now, and I'm really proud of them and all the work they're doing to do those little things by straightening up and pulling weeds and pruning trees. I think it looks awesome. I sat down while I was waiting for lunch and just watched just the buzz of downtown Main Street now since we redid it, and that continues to have a lot of potential as we attract businesses that will continue to help cultivate that. I want to thank big time the Utah Food Bank. I love driving past the city center and seeing their truck parked here once a week, and all of the families and kids that rely on that during school time to get meals. I'm so thankful for that. I did want to put something on the road radar. I know we have a lot of needs as far as roads go, but add this to the 3 mile long list. The railroad tracks on Utah Avenue where they're paved over just past I-15. Oh, that is really harsh right now. That needs to be at least filled, but even better, cut out and redone right there. The asphalt will never quite be good enough around the railroad tracks. Takes a lot more maintenance. So I'd like to see that get some attention. That's such a busy road for us. And then also we have so much commercial traffic that goes down that. And a lot of it's with the help of heavy semis and gravel trucks. But that asphalt patch job over the railroad tracks has failed, and that needs to be looked at. And then I also want to put a plug in about the road that the West Mountain Church sits on. That's now in Payson City. I can't remember the street number of that one, but yeah, the county has repaved, and then it stops and it turns into Payson City Road. It's a pretty harsh difference. They're past Hyatt's, and so I would like to see that road paved sooner than later. That needs to be widened, touched, and repaved. We went to the trouble of annexing it out there. We cannot forget them. We need to pony up and provide a better road for them out there sooner than later. And I think that's all my complaints tonight. But really, thank you, staff and residents too. Thank you all for working so hard and answering all of our questions and being so accessible. And Dave and Robert, I want to specifically mention you, how timely you are to responding to us, but also the residents that send those emails through reach out to us through the various ways. You guys are always really quick to get back to them and communicate, and I noticed that, so thank you.
Council Hewlett.
I just have one thing. It's somebody's birthday today. I think we ought to sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Lacey. Happy birthday to you.
So nice. Is it my turn?
It is. Birthday
Great.
girl.
Yeah. Yep. This is going to be the most adult thing ever in my 43 years of life. This was my very first birthday. I did not take off for the day, and I'm also here. So I guess I'm officially an adult. So
Well, we all make mistakes.
yes, we all make mistakes. No, I love birthdays. I was one of 7, and your birthday was your day. So birthdays are special, but thank you. So I was gonna say, I'm super excited for Aaron Watson, and I have been pushing that. I used to see him when I was in my 20s in like clubs, bars, and he's great. So whoever picked him, way to go. We went to the Scottish Festival also, and that was really awesome. We had really strong community attendance, and so just great. Whoever, everyone that made that a success, thanks. I was curious who we can, even if you tell me who to reach out to, I will personally do it. Who can we reach out to clean up, beautify our city of political signs that are still hanging around?
Sorry, that was one of the most highly debated amendments this past session, where they are making cities hold on to them. So collect them, hold on to them for at least 2 weeks, try and contact the owners of them. And if they don't come get them, then after a period of time, we can finally do something to get rid of them. But yeah, it's been hotly debated, the placement of them, because they want to be able to place them in the park strips. And if you allow the political signs, we can't stop other real estate, business, and other things. So it's still hotly contested, and I think they'll come back to it again this session. But
We can see if we can round them up though.
Okay. Like if I spot one, I can just shoot you an email. Or...
oh,
Okay, I'll send you a message. Yeah,
we're
they're
obligated to keep them for at least 2 weeks and
Well, the
attempt
election
to
was
contact
was
the
3
owner.
weeks ago, so
Yeah,
the time
it's-
limit's up.
So our city has kept them. Our city property has kept them.
Well, but aren't we still in election cycle? Because we haven't had the election. We had the primary, but
But
aren't we
those
still
that
technically-
were defeated,
Most of the signs that we see.
Yeah,
Are
our
those
ones
that
that
are
have been
defeated?
defeated.
Yep.
We're
Yeah.
still holding out hope, right?
They're just, well, it's
region.
usually it should be the responsibility of the person that puts it out. And the
Yes.
bigger the election, the more they just give signs out to people that support them. And so maybe some of those people just are forgetting, but
There's some really
there's
big
some
ones.
stragglers, yeah.
So
I
okay.
think what they need to do is put something in the legislation that they get fined for each sign the city picks up, because the city has to do that work. Then they ought to pay for it.
And I just have two more things. The other was I wanted to specifically, I'm gonna super make him maybe red. Thank Robert. I met with him the other day, and I went in there with seriously less than 30 minute like thinking, and I was there for an hour and a half. And he is just so incredibly helpful. He's always so thoughtful on his responses. I truly feel like every time I speak with you, you listen to everything that I say, and you, even if you don't have an answer, you're writing it down and you always get back to me. So I'm really thankful. And then the last thing, I didn't really want to have to say this on my birthday, but I just wanted to address a concern, and I hope this is the right place. So a concern was brought to my attention that they were informed that comments from our June 17th meeting, which was the budget meeting, has led many city employees to believe that I do not respect them and do not believe that they deserve raises. I'm very thankful that all of our meetings are recorded so that we can review exactly what I said. And when that came to my attention, I said, that is not what I said. And I pulled it up right then. And my comments were simply that there may be years when, based on the city's financial circumstances and the challenges that our residents are facing, I may not be able to support a salary increase. That's a fiscal decision. It's not a reflection on my respect or appreciation for any city employee. I value the work of every employee, and I really appreciate all that you guys do and all they do for the community. I think everyone up here knows that serving as a city council member, you make a lot of difficult decisions, and not everyone's ever going to agree with what I say or what my vote is, but different opinions are healthy, and they should never be mistaken for a lack of respect. And so I just want to put it out there that if any resident or city employee ever has questions about something that I say or how I voted, I really encourage you to come to me directly. I am happy to have a respectful conversation, provide any clarification, but open communication, I think everyone believes, and that it helps prevent misunderstandings like that and helps us stay focused on our town and what we're all really trying to do. So I just really wanted to put that out there because it was a kind of a shock when that employee said, I heard you don't respect us and you don't think that we deserve a raise. And it was really kind of the first blow of being in the city council, of being like, that is not what I said. So anyway, I respect you all, everyone that's in this room, everyone that's not in this room. I truly do. And I'm always open to talk to anyone. And I'm a very open book. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. I would just give a shout out Dave and Robert, if you could, I think there was two departments involved with the demolition of the old Dixon meat, facility. It looks awesome. Waiting to see what we're gonna put there. I'm sure we've got a lot of uses and a lot of people grabbing for it, but it looks awesome and cleaned up.
Yeah, Dave.
Well, he swung the track hoe around one time. Other than that, I appreciate Brad, his officers going around and helping the beautification committee with what we're trying to accomplish right now. I received, on that letter, I think I've received 5 comments, 5 things with the letters that we've sent out, and they've all been very positive, with the exception of, I did mine and I'm grateful to do it because I'm a Payson City resident, but, and then they would give an address of somebody that really did you send a letter to them? So we're just not singling people out. We're just trying to do a take pride in Payson campaign.
I did have one more thing I forgot. We had made up some park tax plaques to put on things that have those been installed? Okay, very good. That was really awesome. They looked really good.
I really appreciated Lacey's comment, education on the park tax. That was very, very good.
City put out, and I'll keep sharing that too.
Yep. Moving on. Item number E, action items. We have an ordinance amendment to Payson City Code 2.52.040 Economic Development Board. Brandon, you're up.
So Mayor Pro Tem and Council, this proposed amendment is intended to simplify the process for the Economic Development Board to select their members. In the past, it's been very difficult to get the whole committee together to constitute a quorum, to interview, make the selections, and recommend someone to the council for approval. So by amending the code to allow the city manager, the board chair or their designees, and the development services director or their designee to meet, just those 3, it allows it to move faster, to be a simpler process, and get those recommendations and interviews done a lot quicker. So it would be to not require the full committee to make a bigger quorum, but a smaller quorum, but still go through the process.
Any discussion by the council?
I'm trying to hurry and pull up the I did have a question on regarding the appointment. Oh shoot, where did I? It said that a member of the city council sits on that board, and that's decided by the city council. I thought perhaps that should probably be a decision made by the mayor of which city council member sits on that board. Is that not how we've been doing it?
That is a good question. I don't know how we have been doing it.
I had to think the last time, it might be on the council assignments that the mayor puts out.
I believe that is.
It is. So
an assignment the mayor makes.
I think that should remain an assignment that the mayor makes
I agree.
rather than us deciding which council member to go on. I think that should be at the mayor's discretion of which city council member is appointed to that economic board.
Because he makes the decision for all the other stuff that he appoints us to.
Exactly.
So that,
Yep.
Does any of the council have any?
Well, the committee though, the committee itself, like those that we interview, we make a recommendation, but it all comes to the city council to approve the plan.
So that, yeah, serving.
But I'm talking
The
about the
applicant,
just
yeah.
city council member that
sits
is
on
on that board.
Yeah. Okay. Council, all good with that? Then I would accept the motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the amendment to the Payson City Code Economic Development Board, and with the inclusion of that the mayor makes the appointment of the city council representative to the board.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Hewlett.
Yes.
Councilmember Rowley.
Yes.
Councilmember Proscard. Yes. Councilmember Moss.
yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, Resolution of the Dinkins annexation petition for consideration of further review located at approximately 933 South, 650 West, consisting of 10.865 acres. Michael?
Emily wanted me to point out that address is somehow addressed to Salem, even though they're unincorporated. So I don't know. She pulled it up from the county parcel map, and that's the address I gave. So
Okay.
anyway, the area, the map I show, the map I show you will definitely put it in perspective where this is. Okay. So tonight it's just a consideration for further review on the parcels noted there. The applicant has approximately 10.865 acres, and they're asking for the R110 zoning designation with this annexation request. So council's role tonight would just be whether to accept or deny this annexation request for further review. If accepted, then staff would begin to work with the application sponsor and do all of the processes related to an annexation request. So we'll zoom in here for you. That is the parcel there. As you can see, if you're familiar with the subdivision to the west, that's Quail Mountain right there. So, and I don't know what that county road is, but for us, it would be 1500 east if that eastern boundary was in the city. So that kind of puts it in perspective for you, the area. So staff have seen several requests for annexation in this area. Each request is for a relatively small area of consideration. And so our concerns center around all of these bullet points for each of these requests, not just this one being requested tonight, but I just wanted to bring it up to you. So when we get a small request, it's difficult to properly plan for utilities, including whether or not to have a regional or a small private lift station, transportation network, our block lengths and our city grids, connectivity to adjacent properties within and without the city boundaries. And then application sponsors typically only want to micro focus on the properties that they are wanting to have considered for annexation. And this makes it difficult and inefficient for us to plan utilities, roads, neighborhood connectivity, emergency response. That being said, I wanted to share a map with you of this request and then the other requests we've had recently in this area. So this first one, something weird, there we go. This is the Dinkins one, which we were just showing on the earlier map. This is the Braithwaite annexation that's currently under consideration. My computer thinks it has to be smarter than me. Okay. This is the Ludine, Mark, and Marjorie Haskell annexation under review. Down here at the bottom in blue is the Haskell annexation that's currently under review. And then we've received phone calls and had conversations about these parcels in purple as a possible additional annexations to be brought for the city council to consider for further review. So as you can see, there's a lot of interest in this area to consider for annexation. Any questions about any of these so far?
Go ahead, Lacey.
Oh, I don't know if now's the time for my question. I'm just curious, like, what the process is of, because this is putting a lot of stress on you guys, I assume, of having so many different ones instead of all of them getting together. Like, and I also know that the East Side Plan does ask that they don't do the sporadic. So I just didn't know what the process is. Like, is this normal? Like, for me, not knowing.
I would say this is fairly typical because people tend to be approached by developers and individuals wanting to develop, and
Okay.
they sweeten the pot of what they're going to pay if they get annexed, and so it's usually a snowball effect, that sort of a thing.
Okay.
We always tell anyone that talks to us to look at adjacent properties and try to gather as many as they can when they're considering an annexation request. That doesn't
Okay.
necessarily happen, but
I just worry about, yeah, like you guys being stretched a little bit with so much, but I just didn't know if it is affecting you guys or not. So
thank you.
I have one question, Michael. The general plan calls, that's all an R1A out there, correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The general plan calls for an R1A in that entire area?
No, so there's the East Side Comprehensive Plan that covers this area.
Right.
And the
That's
East Side
fine.
Comprehensive Plan going from 100 South there at the top of the highest purple one, down to Salem Canal Road. The majority of that area is designated as what's called traditional,
Yes.
which is in the size category of a third to a quarter acre lots.
Isn't the planning commission, didn't they recently refer staff to reevaluate the East Side Comprehensive Plan to align it with the general plan?
Only for some property, I'm going to use my cursor, only for property where my cursor is right here. That was a zone change request that an applicant brought forward. And so they made that recommendation for a change to what currently that area was called active living, which is 55 plus type community. And the recommendation by Planning Commission was to change that to the district, which would allow for a variety of housing sizes and types.
But that was only for that particular
Only for that
parcel that's
particular
already in
piece.
Payson city boundaries.
Correct.
And so these parcels in question, specifically Dinkins, that one is zoned R110 according to the plan.
It doesn't have a zoning because it's in the county,
Yeah.
but the designation that the plan says would be that traditional, which is the third to a quarter acre.
Okay.
But typically when we annex, we bring them into a holding zone until they bring a development.
We've done both. It just depends on what council feels comfortable with.
Okay. Any other questions by the council?
Does the property, could we go back to just highlighting the Dinkins request? Because that's the one we're specifically talking about. Thank you. Do we know, would this particular parcel require a private lift station to handle the sewage? I know we don't know definitively, but
from what I understand, Travis is not here, but from what I understand, we don't know that. If it can flow to Quail Mountain, then no, but we don't have definitive information to know that yet.
the Quail Mountain lift station is private.
Correct.
So they would have to agree
They would have to have an
allow more
agreement. They
sewage.
may even have to upsize that one. So the staff preference on this would be for it to flow north to 100 South.
Right.
But that would also not necessarily this property and the density that they would propose. But from what I understand, what Travis said to us yesterday is everything in this area flows to a lift station north of SR 198, and that's at capacity. I don't know that whatever number of homes that could go in here would put it beyond capacity, but he did say it is at capacity now.
And that road, if I'm correct, is going to be the Payson Parkway.
Yes, that one that's on the
3
east
meters, right?
border of the yellow square. Yes.
Yes. And so does this request, or are we even far enough down the road, so no pun intended, to require road dedication?
I think that's a very valid thing to consider with an annexation. We've talked to the other properties on that Ludine, Mark, Haskell one about that very thing, and I think that it would be prudent to consider that with this property as well.
So one thing is we're looking at these, since there's quite a few different parcels, smaller parcels, and they're under further review, except for this one we haven't voted on yet. But can we say that they need to work together so we kind of plan this whole area, because they're under further review? So can we tell them this is what we, as far as our further review, you've got to come together and have a plan for this area, lift stations, water, roads, and things like that.
We expect that anyway, but having that voiced from the council, especially in this setting where if you're going to consider it for further review and you voice it from the bench, I think that holds additional weight. So that would be very valuable.
Because of the low score that staff gave it, I'm hesitant to approve it for future review, except for the fact it does meet the size requirement. However, I feel strongly too. I would feel uncomfortable approving this at the final stance because of the chopped up nature of all the other surrounding parcels as well, and the strains that puts on the rest of the residents to try to subsidize and subdivide and help someone develop their individual small little pieces when they could all just bring this in, work together, make it bigger, make it flow. That way we don't have a bunch of little blotchy little tons of different neighborhoods with different housing styles and such, and road connections and sewer lift stations and utilities. The thing we need to remember is for each one of these small parcels that is annexed, while we have impact fees to try to absorb some of that cost, all of us bite the bullet to run utilities and power and roads. And so, the hidden blessing of doing the smaller ones is we usually have less density, which is a good thing, particularly in this area. But my fear is if we keep approving all of these little small ones everywhere, we're opening the can of worms that's already opened, and they're getting smaller and smaller, and then pretty soon we're approving things for 2 or 3 houses or 4 houses, and that just does not pencil out for the residents, and it's not fair for the residents to subsidize someone's small development. So for this council member, speaking for myself, if we're going to move forward with this, these property owners need to get on the same page and work together and create a plan that flows well, specifically for roads and utilities, to make it fair for all of the Payson residents and to make this work better than a bunch of little chopped up different neighborhoods.
I disagree, trying respectfully. I remember the day when we were excited to get 1 and 2 acre annexation requests. The things that have been put in place since that day of a staff review of not only roadways, but sewer lines, power lines, water lines. I mean, we pretty well already know what's going out there as far as roads. It's pretty self-explanatory, and for staff to be able to have the opportunity to look at it upon a request gives us a bigger picture of what we need to do beyond that particular annexation. I would love to see everybody to the left of where that yellow is, all that to the left, come in at the same time. But we don't have the right to tell property owners what they can and can't do with their property. And if they request annexation, I believe we have the right, or we have the responsibility to at least let staff know let us know if it's feasible and will meet the quality of roads and the quality of services that we need to provide. So this is just if I read it right, it is just a consideration for further review, which puts, if we so likely vote for this, it puts the wheels in motion for a council, staff, and engineering to look at it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Any other discussion?
I just encourage the property owners again, let's work together on this. This area already has enough cul-de-sacs as we can see on this map. And that's because there was no future thought to the roads. You're just thinking of the 4 squares within your own parcel, which I get, and you absolutely have the right to ask to do whatever you want with your parcel. We also hold the right to take that in review and say yes or no. And I wonder about the timeliness of all these coming in separately. So that's my concern. I don't have a lot of heartburn approving it for further consideration. But with all these coming at me separately, with the knowledge I have now, I wouldn't feel comfortable voting for any one of them particularly.
Any further discussion? No further discussion. I'll accept the motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Dinkins annexation petition for consideration for further review, located at whatever the address is, the right address.
You could
Second.
state the parcel number.
Oh, well, I don't have the parcel number, so anyway, the one that's up on the screen. But I do, since there's other ones have been for further review also that they try to work together and make this all these parcels kind of work together. So just that's not a requirement, but it's highly recommended.
Particularly for the city, I agree, Brian. I would just say particularly for the city to consider. They work together. I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a second. Councilmember Smith.
I'm gonna say no only because I voted no on the other ones, and I feel like they're kind of the same reasons. So no.
Councilmember Hewlett.
Yes.
Councilmember Rowley.
Yes.
Councilmember Prosgaard, yes. Councilmember Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 3. Resolution approving the First Amendment to the Villages at Arrowhead Park Development Agreement. Michael, you're still up.
Okay, so tonight, what's being considered is an amendment to an existing development agreement that's already in place. The applicant seeks to allow the flexibility of having an option of 3-story twin homes and townhomes in the property. Currently, it only allows 2-story. So tonight, City Council will be making that decision, approval or denial of the requested development agreement amendment. Giving you a quick zoom in on this because everybody loves it when we zoom in on these locations.
It is.
So it is there where my cursor is. I think I have more things that, okay, so that was a horrible color to use. But the reason why the color is that way is so it matches the color that's of the text on the side there. So this was the area that is included in the development agreement is that odd shaped parcel there surrounded in the yellow hashed line. So it's further broken down into a phase 1 and a phase 2. So phase 1 is here. And this is currently under construction with townhomes and twin homes in the 2-story height capacities. So phase 2 would be the rest of it, all of that area that's highlighted in red. So the applicant, like I said before, is seeking to amend the agreement to allow that flexibility of 2- and 3-story twin and townhomes. The current prospective buyer intends to build all 3-story units if this amendment is approved.
So it wouldn't be a mix. It would be all or nothing.
So the applicant is the current property owners, the original developers of the property. And if they, for some reason, things don't work out with the prospective buyer, they still want the flexibility to have both. And so that's why they had the language written the way they did. These are current housing product examples that are going on in phase 1 of the development. As you can see, the townhomes and the twin homes there. These are some sample housing products if the request for the amendment is approved would be for the phase 2. So you can see the townhome examples there on the left and the twin home examples on the right.
This is there.
Sorry?
Some of the surrounding development that's already there. What is the height of those buildings? Are they 3?
The
There's some
ones that are
3,
in
correct?
that northern portion, phase 1, those are 2. Immediately to the north, beyond the road, I believe they're getting into 3-story there. I know that
There's
the
apartments, and then there are townhomes to
and there's
the
some townhomes to the west
and
that
those
are
are those
3-story.
3-story ones. 3 and 2-story. They kind of like.
Is this a market-driven decision? Is there a need for additional square footage?
Does this increase density by allowing taller?
No, it
does
doesn't.
not
Well,
increase.
I mean, it would allow for larger home units, potentially 4 bedroom units.
But not more
Now, whether or
doors.
not that increases density is determined on who's using the property. But no additional units would be proposed with it. Yeah. The applicant provided this graphic to show. Currently, you can see the smaller tan boxes are the twin units. They don't have the driveway approaches. It's just a total pad site for building the townhome or the twin home. This graphic shows that they would be putting in the driveways on the twin home units there. So that's just to kind of illustrate that there. So the point would be that if this goes through and the buyer buys it, they would reduce the footprint of those twin homes so that on the ground floor, and then they could have room for that driveway, and then have that second story have the additional square footage for the home. So.
I see that the driveway, which is great, especially a 2-car driveway. But other than that, I don't see much parking outside of that. And then it makes me think there's going to be a lot of street parking, which the 3-story ones to the west run into that a lot. Is this sufficient for the city's like requirements?
So they're not changing anything in the site plan or the plat, recorded plat. So any of the off-street parking you can see that's perpendicular to the roads, that's all existing with what was approved with the subdivision of this. They're not changing any of that. If they were to do that, they would have to go through a whole process.
Okay, so this was already what was approved, like the
Correct.
amount of parking.
So
Okay.
it's actually increasing the amount of parking because of those driveways.
Okay.
I guess I'm still a little confused why they want to increase the height. To begin with, they've already entered into a development agreement with the city to do 2-story. It seems to me, maybe I'm totally out of touch, that this would cost more to add an extra level and also limit your buyer pool. I don't know if anyone's been in those 3-story townhomes, but it's
terrible.
It's garage, staircase, kitchen,
Horrible.
staircase, bedrooms, and yeah, I guess I'm just scratching my head to like Bob mentioned. Is this market driven, or where's the need?
So we do have the potential buyer here that can talk to some of those questions if you want.
Okay, that'd be good.
But if you'd like, I'll finish what I've got here, and then we'll invite them
Okay.
up. So we already talked about this to some degree. There was a development agreement. Development agreements are mutually approved documents between both parties. In this case, it would be the developer and the city. The development agreement was recorded on May 8th, 2025. City Council has no obligation to make an amendment to this development agreement. If the City Council would like to make an amendment, but maybe they want to see some potential additional changes, they could suggest those. And if both parties agree to it, that could also be part of this amendment. Staff would just recommend, if you are in favor of moving this forward and approving it, that additional language would be added to the development agreement that would identify that those driveways would be part of those twin homes, because that's not part of the current language in the amendment right now. Let's see, do I have, I think I talked about that pretty much. Any other questions?
I have a couple of questions for you. So this didn't have to go to planning and zoning, right?
No.
So what's the staff's recommendation on this? I didn't see that anywhere.
Staff is kind of torn on it, to be honest. We've talked with the applicant. They've given us their input. We do like the idea of the driveways, because I think that, as Councilmember Smith said, that this area is overparked oftentimes, so we like that idea. We don't necessarily get into market analysis or anything like that. We leave that to the developer and the buyers, and that's none of our purview. But massing and scale, it's gonna change a little bit than what was intended for this area, but we don't necessarily have a strong opinion either way.
I guess I just have a couple questions for the applicant as well.
Okay. Well, that's all I have if we want to invite them
Is
up.
the applicant here?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
So Quinn Millet, is that how we say it? Yeah. So Quinn is the potential one representing the potential buyer. So
Okay.
come on up, Quinn.
All right, thanks for that presentation and thanks for the time. Could we go back to the site plan? So I'd like to address first the benefits to the site plan and then address 3-story townhouses. Some of the benefits, so one of the big benefits is obviously parking. We're adding 108 parking spots. Townhouse developments are, chronically underparked. Some of the other benefits are the homes over here. These are all 3 stories as well, but they're picking up additional square footage in the backyard. So we're actually adding green space. Another benefit is the streetscape. When you have a 26-foot right of way and then the garages on either side, it ends up kind of a narrow streetscape. We're adding 48 feet to the streetscape. We have a rendering that kind of illustrates that. You end up with landscaping between the driveways, You end up with landscaping between the driveways as well as a much more inviting streetscape. Tell me if I'm missing something. One of the reasons we went with a 3-story and not a 2-story is the water table. So if you have a 2-story townhouse and you can't put in a basement, the footprints on these are 64 feet and you're only getting 1,500 square feet. You put that 2-car garage on the bottom floor, even with that 64-foot depth, you're getting 1,500 square feet. The additional we have found, as far as a market reaction, we've done developments where we have that additional bedroom going from 3 to 4, and that additional bedroom tends to get a bigger reaction than your third. And the reason for that is it can be used for offices, it can be used for a gear room, it can be used for, like, a lot of times we'll see that we'll go back and visit the sites and they'll be used for like a kid's playroom, right? And with that, I'll jump into the benefits of a 3-story. For me, who has bad knees, maybe I don't want a 3-story. For kind of that younger buyer, it tends to be more appealing. One of the big benefits of a 3-story is, yes, you come up to a garage and you go straight up the stairs. Then you have that middle floor that is one big room, right? And then you have usually bedrooms and bathrooms upstairs. In 2,000 square feet, to have one big bedroom where you can host a party, it's your kitchen, it's your half bath, it's kind of an open area with a lot of times, especially with these, natural light. It's very functional for hosting and whatnot, something you don't get in a 2-story. So we do have a strong market reaction for not only the 4-bedroom, but the additional square footage and the 3-story.
Is your 4th bedroom, are you counting it the room down below before you go up? Because sometimes, so you have to walk through it though to go upstairs, or is it an actual separate bedroom?
It's an actual separate bedroom.
Okay, because some of them you have to walk through that room.
Yep.
Like a lot of builders, they'll make it to where you have to walk through it. So it can't be really like you said, it could be a toy room or a, like a hangout space or something.
Yep.
But you are correct. Like going from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom, you instantly increase your buyers. My concern would be, what are you increasing the price from the 2-story to the 3-story? Because you also don't want to then lose buyers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was my big question. If you have a rough idea, like, is it going to be a huge increase for buyers, or?
It's in the low 4s. It's still well within the FHA limits.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I personally like I'm with Ryan and I'm with you. I have bad knees. I see those 3 stories near that sit longer on the market. And so, but that's obviously the builder's problem, in a sense. For me, I think if it's this area it's already got it, but that was my biggest concern is it still going to be affordable?
Yeah.
So that answers.
And we looked at it with the 2-story, and we felt for market reasons that a 3-story made a lot more sense.
Does the 2-story have a garage?
Yes. Yeah, the garage would actually be right up on the street.
So basically, you could do all of what you're saying with a 2-story.
Um,
You could. You don't have to increase
oh no, you
anything. And my main concern is, and everybody in this room who works with me a lot knows I hate 3-story because we have a beautiful view and you've already got 2-story over here. You put 3-story next to them. They thought that they were all going to be 2-story or whatever, and now they're losing the beautiful view. And I think every single 3-story apartment, townhome, all of that stuff I see, I hate them. I think they're ugly. I think they're too tall. I don't think they're designed well. I think the floor plans are terrible. And I think you lose a warmth and a cozy feeling of a neighborhood. And I'm worried about the parking. I'm worried about the view. I'm very picky about floor plans. So I don't think your plan is good enough for me to be on board with the 3-story.
and I appreciate that. One of the things we couldn't do is the additional parking. If you go with a 2-story, you lose 108 parking stalls.
But you can also, so did the 2 stories have 4 bedrooms?
No.
So you add another bedroom, which means possibly somebody else, some of these could just be roommates. You still have problem parking. You still have, and not everybody has just one car per person. So you're still going to have street parking problems. And I'm not convinced. I'm an automatic no when it's 3-story townhomes. I think they're too tall and it's a horrible aesthetic to walk in and have to go automatically upstairs to the living area.
Yeah, understood.
So
Yeah, and not everyone likes the 3 stories. I do think the functionality of a 3-story beats out the 2-story because of how they're cut up, but they're not for everybody.
mm-mm.
I do understand your want and desire for the need of the 3-story because of the water table. I do
Yep.
understand that. I guess my real heartburn I have is with the 3-story. I'm scared that discourages home ownership faster. I think it could turn into more of a rental situation there quicker.
It will.
And so that's a main concern I have there is the home ownership. Then my other concern is the view of the mountains as well that would be obstructed by more 3-stories. So right now, just know I have a little bit of hesitation about it.
Understood. Yeah, and the homes, the 3 stories on this left side face the canal, and then of course these face the street. But understood, and yeah, understood.
I think 2-story is plenty and it looks nicer. It doesn't look so overwhelming.
So can you explain the parking for the 2-story versus the 3-story? I'm still confused about that. It seems like you still have if you're 2-story, you still have the same parking, but
Yep, absolutely. So if you look at this unit, for example, a 2-story without a basement, where the driveway is now, would actually turn into a garage. Does that make sense? So the garage actually comes right up to the street.
Is it because the footprint's getting bigger?
Do we not have required setbacks though of how far a driveway has to be off of the street?
Well, there are no driveways.
Well, the garage then we don't have
It
a.
would be like the Maple, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so since you're making a smaller footprint, you'll
It's a
be able to
private
have
street.
Hmm?
It's a private street
Yeah,
there,
like the
and so
Maples.
it's similar to others developments in this.
So there's the front of the house and then behind.
The
is
front
garage.
actually faces the green spaces, and then the garage faces this private
Okay.
street.
And living in the Maples neighborhood, it doesn't matter if you have a garage or not. They don't use them. And there's always a parking problem regardless.
But if they had a driveway, I think
That-
That would be helpful.
so that
but-
adds two parking spots really for each one. Is that
That's
correct?
right. The difference is you're shrinking the footprint, and with that additional space, you're adding 2 parking spots. So each townhouse ends up with 4 parking spots, instead of 2.
Does this one have an HOA?
Yes.
It will have an HOA. Will they have restrictions on parking broken down cars?
Oh yeah, that's in the CCNRs.
What about on your HOA? some builders allow, going back to Ryan's concern, only a certain percentage is rentals. And if he is going to be a rental, I know some builders like increase the price. Do you guys do that at all?
Yeah, I believe the master CCNR is significantly strict rentals. We don't target, as you know, as a home builder, we promote home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
We push for first time home buyers in this sort of scenario, and we don't push for rentals.
Yeah. I was curious though, I drove by this today because I wanted to make sure I was thinking of the correct property. The 2 stories, that was a concern of mine, that those poor people now that, those people that have already bought and then all of a sudden they have a 3-story behind them, that would stink. And that was but the rendering that Michael showed, none of those looked like that. It was more of a modern look. So I guess I like the look of what was shown, more traditional look. So I guess also you kind of have that clashing, but I guess I'm going to kind of be like the devil's advocate on this, that the 2-story ones in that area are so also tiny from other builders that they sit and sit and sit also. But then the 3 stories sit and sit and sit also. So it's just kind of if this is approved, I would just hope that you guys really look at what does sit in that area, because then that affects the area down the road, and really make it to where it's a resellable product for people, because the hope is obviously after you buy a home that eventually, you build another one and another. So that would just be my.
Yeah. And there are 3 stories in the neighborhood, both north and south. Yeah. And like I said, with developments we've done in the past, that 4th bedroom has a big demand. And I didn't mention this before, but it's typically the top ones are used for bedrooms. It's because of the separation of the floors that bottom one has a different utility. That's what's used for the kids' play area, for the gear room, for the office, where you couldn't do that if you're just next. You could do it, but it's less convenient. It's more convenient if it's on a different floor.
If you had a good floor plan, you could do 4 bedrooms in a 1,500 square foot.
Ooh,
You could.
I mean, these are nearly 2,000, and it's pretty efficient to get to the 4 bedrooms. None of the ones in the area, very few. I don't know if any of them have 4 bedrooms. So I'm
But
not
you
sure
could.
that's.
You have a good design and a floor plan, you could have 4 bedrooms in a 1,300 square foot. So I've lived in one. So you don't have to have the 3rd story. You don't have to have that awkward random room behind a garage. You can design it right. I just don't like the 3-story. This is one of the first communities people will see coming in on Arrowhead and I-15, and they're going to see these tall, aesthetically unpleasing 3-story buildings. Lacey, I haven't been out there yet for a while. Are they more contemporary, modern looks?
The ones that are the 2 stories are, and then across the street.
I wish
So
we could
here's
get
your
away from that,
apartments,
too.
right?
Mhm.
And then here's 2 stories that another builder built,
Mhm.
and they're very contemporary, modern.
Mhm.
And then the 2 stories that are already built in phase 1,
Mhm.
they reminded me more of a modern look compared to the renderings.
Mhm.
I mean,
wish
that's
we
my
would get away
personal
from the
opinion.
modern contemporary look
Okay.
as
But
well.
We
but
need,
anyway.
we need to move on.
Yeah.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yes.
Just one thing that with the 3-story, for me to kind of offset that, if there's a way you can have some relief, and so they aren't all just like a row of 3-story buildings. So if you do that, that makes a huge difference how things look. So.
Appreciate your comments. Any other questions
Mm-mm.
before we let him go? Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Any more discussion, council?
I guess just, well, I've got the builder's ear here. I'd be okay with some sort of mix with what Councilor Hewlett said, with some relief and different heights, but the idea of shifting them all to 3-story, I'm not in favor of right now.
I think we as a council have the opportunity to say 50% or.
I just want to remind us of what we want Payson to look like, and some builders are not following what our vision is. Doing too much contemporary, too much high density, and going from 2-story to 3-story does increase the density. And so I just want to remind you of that. We've had these discussions before of what we want our town to look like.
We also have to remember too that we've had this discussion of a lot of us have always said, if I'm gonna be okay with something, it's gonna be in this area because literally across the street you
Good
have
point, yeah.
4-story or 3-story apartments.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Which were approved long before we
yeah,
came along.
correct.
Oh.
But I would rather approve a 3-story community next to a 3-story community than a 3-story community next to Ramblers. But that's just my
This is an
Because that
undeveloped
other
area.
apartment building, they're right across the street from single family homes. And Arrowhead back further.
further back.
Yeah.
And I think we have to remember too, it's
I know.
not within our scope to dictate what the looks of the builder.
Right, we're a little beyond council. All right, if there's no further discussion, I would entertain a motion.
I would just add that if you're considering being in favor of this, there should be some flexibility for staff to work with the applicant to put in that language, for example, with the driveway. Also, this was platted for 2-story, and so the distance between buildings is identified for 2-story. So we would have to have some deviation from the code to allow that. So.
I make a motion that we approve the First Amendment to the Villages Arrowhead Park Development Agreement as presented.
I'll second.
Could you read the motion back? I didn't hear you good. Sorry.
I make a motion that we approve the First Amendment to the Villages Arrowhead Park Development Agreement as presented.
Right.
So do you want to add something about staff?
Oh yeah, they've got to be able to.
That staff would have some flexibility.
Yes, adding the ability for staff to have flexibility to have dimensions, offsets, and measurements according to code and what we need.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second, starting with Councilmember Moss.
No.
Councilmember Prosgaard, yes. Councilmember Rowley.
I think the builders should try one more time and come back with a mix of housing styles and heights, and I'm not in favor of moving it all to 3-story, so I am a no.
Okay. Councilmember Hewlett.
Yes, I think if they get some relief and with more parking, I think the parking is going to help a lot for this area.
Councilmember Smith.
I'm actually a yes on this one. I really thought hard about it. I said I went there today, Ann.
I
I
heard it.
really did.
That's
so
okay.
I'm.
I said yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Motion carries. Moving on. Item number 4, resolution approving an amendment to the agreement with Utah County regarding the 2026 municipal recreation grant. Jill.
Yes, this will be really fast. We have money and we don't want to lose it. So we are asking for the city council to approve this agreement with Utah County to extend our timeline to utilize the money that we get through the TRCC funding, which is the Tourism, Recreation, Culture, and Convention. So it's known as the restaurant tax, if you've heard about the restaurant tax. Anyway, we have a couple of projects we're working on. We were unable to get them done by the end of June, which was the deadline. So Utah County has agreed to let us extend it into this next fiscal year. So that is what this agreement would be authorizing, is for that money to roll over to the next fiscal year, so we can finish up our projects.
So do we need to make a resolution approving the mayor to sign this resolution?
Yes.
We need to approve the resolution that the mayor can sign it. Okay. Any discussion? I'll accept the motion.
I make a motion that we approve the amendment to the agreement with Utah County regarding the 2026 municipal recreation grant.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Hewlett,
Yes.
Councilmember Rowley,
Yes.
Councilmember Prosgard, yes. Councilmember Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion on update to the outdoor recreation plan. Anders?
Was this in the packet? Because I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
I didn't either.
This was not in the packet. And so the reason for that is just we're doing a presentation. And so we don't have anything for you to review, before the meeting or
No decision.
no decision will be made. It's just a discussion and providing you with information. And so we'll be sharing a presentation. And we can probably share that with you after the meeting if you'd like, just to have that information. But this is one of several discussions that we'll have regarding a outdoor recreation plan. So Councilman Hewlett actually applied for a grant with the Utah Division of Natural Resources, and that was awarded to the city for us to put together an outdoor recreation plan. And we're excited to be kind of in the beginning stages of that. We're working with the SC group. So we have Michael Clausen and David Nichols with us today. And so they'll be providing that presentation of kind of what we've done up to this point, and what our plans are going forward in developing this plan and getting some feedback and direction from all of you. So with that, I'll hand it over to Michael.
Thank you, Anders. Mayor Pro Tem and Council, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Mike Clausen. As was said, we're with SE Group located up in Sugar House at 2180 East, 1300, or 2180 South, 1300 East. And as a group, SE Group is a consulting firm. We primarily work with communities centered around outdoor recreation, a lot both in the West and in the East. A lot of the communities adjacent to public lands, and assist with that outdoor recreation vision and strategic planning. As was mentioned, we are assisting to prepare an outdoor recreation strategic plan. At this time, we do not have the finalized plan with it. Although we say a plan, it is not just a single document, it is a series of documents. So we actually do have a few things that I'm going to overview for you today, and then we can share with you afterwards to see the progress. But today we're just here to share that progress and update with you. Today I want to cover 3 things real quick. We want to go over the strategic plan process, what it will look like to get to the final outdoor recreation strategic plan. And then we want to talk about what we've achieved up to this point, both looking at Payson's outdoor recreation economy, as well as the existing recreation assets, gaps, strengths, and opportunities, basically what Payson is doing really well with outdoor recreation at this time. And then we have reserved some time at the end to have a quick question and answer session. So, outdoor recreation strategic plan. I recognize that if you're not familiar with these, those are a lot of words that don't make sense next to each other. An outdoor recreation strategic plan is something that documents outdoor recreation in your community. It helps you see how all the different pieces connect to one another, where they might not connect, what you're doing really well, where there might be gaps and opportunities for further development. This is something that ideally anyone in the community will be able to pick up one day and just get really excited about outdoor recreation in Payson, know everything that there is to offer. Understand that I know that home to adventure, outdoor recreation is only a small piece of it, but to understand how that ties in. And I think we'll be considering ourselves successful in helping prepare this plan for you if we're helping foster and generate that excitement in your community. We have a very complicated diagram of the entire process, and all you really need to know about this right now is that what we've done up to this point is just trying to understand Payson. Understand what the existing recreation amenities offer, what the outdoor economy looks like right now. The next immediate step is actually going to be a community engagement process where we survey or otherwise engage with your community and figure out what is important to them and what they see. So I'd just like you to keep that in your mind as we continue going through this. If there are particular things that you would like us to bring up during the community survey, then we absolutely want to include it. We do it on a site visit. thank you to Carl and Anders and Jill and Robert. They all took us around the community for a day, which I have to say was great because it is something very different to look at all the existing plans that were provided to us and look at maps and do all we can to learn about it. But it's so much better to sit in a van for a day with the people that live and work in this community and be able to just pick their brains about anything and everything. So thank you for that.
One of my funnest days of work ever.
We got to go mountain biking together. So it was a good time. First, I want to talk about the outdoor recreation economy. Again, we have synthesized this into deliverable. I'll give that, I have a copy for each of you after the presentation. Overall, I want to clarify, this is a qualitative review of the outdoor recreation economy as it stands in Payson right now. We looked at many components of the outdoor recreation economy. Generally, when we're speaking about it, we're talking about the economic activity generated by outdoor recreation. But outdoor recreation as a whole provides a lot of value to your community that is really hard to put a dollar sign to. Increased quality of life is a big one. Reinforcing your brand of home to adventure is another one. These are all things that make it so people want to come live in Payson, come live in those in 3-story townhomes or 2-story townhomes because they know they have such great access to so many different types of recreation here. It's a good complement to some of the existing economic strengths. In this process, we looked, I want to clarify, we're talking about Payson, the annexation boundary, but also kind of the whole southern part of Utah Valley. It's a little bit broader than just what is within your annexation boundary. We recognize that we'll get more to the specific recreation assets, but we recognize that a lot of what makes Payson great is not only what you offer, but also your proximity to a lot of wonderful public lands. Part of this was mapping, getting more to the economic side of it, mapping the existing providers and producers, those that provide, manufacture and or sell outdoor recreation goods, as well as those that provide an experience with outdoor recreation. We looked at food and beverage establishments, where they're located, accommodations, things that are important when you're coming to the community to look at, or when you're coming to the community to recreate, you also probably want to stop and eat. And finally, we also looked at events. That's another one of the things that's really become apparent to us we're talking about at the beginning of the Scottish Festival today during our meeting. It's one of the things that makes Payson great. And not only recreation specific events, we're talking about triathlons and such, but also just more community focused events. Kind of in synthesis, one of the things that we really found is that you have a lot of really good outdoor recreation economy strengths. A lot of what we've listed here are specific types of recreation, but that ties into what the businesses are around it. People might come here to go mountain biking, or they might come here for the wonderful motorized recreation, and that's also going to stimulate economic activity. So having businesses that are correlated with your strengths is really important. Also want to talk about the second deliverable that we have for you today, the recreation assets, gaps, opportunities. This is more of a holistic view of what types of recreation are offered right now within Payson and where there are future opportunities to continue developing that. During our site visit, we specifically focused on West Mountain, the Nebo Loop Scenic Byway, and some of the adjacent Forest Service lands up by that, Gladstone Golf Course, Ford Bay, Spring Lake, and then all the city parks within the community as well. I've discussed this. We had the site visit. We reviewed the existing plan documents, the active transportation plan, the parks and recreation plan, just to name a few specific site plans and concept plans for a lot of these areas. We looked at detailed mapping and analysis and really done all we can to have a holistic view of not just individual components of recreation, but again, the idea behind the strategic plan is a view of how all of these things work together and how they form Payson as a community as it is. We're going to talk about, we've mentioned some strengths there. Payson, this is one thing that really became apparent before and especially during the site visit for me, is you have so much to offer in such a good breadth and depth of outdoor recreation. There are so many options for members of your community that when we're talking about gaps, we're not saying like, oh, you don't offer a fairgrounds for competitive pigeon flying and maybe you need that. That's not what it is, right? We are here to say that there are strengths and maybe there's a gap within that strength that you can use to make it even better. Every gap offers an opportunity. A lot of what we have up here are things that you're already doing, and they're in many ways core to the identity of Payson. We can continue working on those strengths. So we have 5 key takeaways from going through the strengths, assets, and gaps, and I want to review a lot of those. So our main key takeaway was that there's a need to invest in parks and adventure close to home. This is one of the, especially with city parks within Payson city limits, are all relatively centralized to the downtown and adjacent areas. And there's a lot of current development and planned future development, or potential future development, I should say, further away from that may not have that same level of service from nearby parks. They don't exist. So one of the things that we've identified is that there could be a need in the future to continue planning for green spaces in those areas, make sure that what is currently offered to Payson residents is offered to potential future Payson residents as well. Another one of our key takeaways is connection. Again, the existing parks are very, very well connected, and that is an amazing strength to be able for people in those neighborhoods to be able to hop on the bike trails and be able to connect to these parks. And that's an opportunity that I think you can really lean into with continued connection to other areas, potential connection to Kiwanis Park or Forebay, so that people don't have to drive their mountain bikes up to the trail or have to drive up there to hike, but they can instead take a path. This is more conceptual. We're not getting into any of the specific challenges associated with making those connections, but holistically, there are a lot of opportunities like that. Bridging I-15, that's another one that, I mean, this map we have pulled up is from the active transportation plan, and it's very detailed, but that's one of the complications, is that can serve as a barrier in some cases, and there could be an opportunity to improve that connection. Another key takeaway was expanding Payson's adventure portfolio. Again, we have some things listed up here that I would classify as many of the reasons that people love outdoor recreation in Payson. You can go shooting, you can go with your motorized recreation out at West Mountain. You have so many opportunities for mountain biking or more of that dispersed hiking and trail running up Payson Canyon. So many of these other, winter sports. And in some cases, what we're identifying here is that there's an opportunity to continue formalizing those and make sure that the community understands where they can really achieve this type of outdoor recreation that they want and experience it. One of our other key takeaways was Forebay. Key takeaway number 4, again, a great resource, and we recognize that it is a relatively new resource for the city, and there's an opportunity here to ensure that it is appealing not just for any one specific user group, but that it services all user groups. We've seen this in other nearby communities in Utah, Draper with Corner Canyon, and just the amount of popularity that gets. Forebay in many ways is similar, located adjacent to your community with great connectivity to it, and having any way to reduce any potential conflicts and make sure that everyone knows that this is a place for them. It's not just for mountain bikers or equestrian users or runners or hikers. And then the final thing is continuing to expand adventure through public events, specifically recreation events. It made me pretty happy to come in here and notice that you had of the decorations in the room, you have the Tour de Utah jersey up on the wall. And I think that's one of the things that shows just how important recreation and community events are to Payson. And it's one of the things that makes it home to adventure, and continuing to lean into that could be really important. So again, to reiterate, the next steps for us is going to be a community engagement piece where we reach out, survey members of your community, and we want to hear from them. We've done all this research. We think we have a hopefully good idea of what Payson has to offer, but we want to hear what's most important to the residents and what they think they might be lacking. We want to hear from you and what you think we should ask your community. What do you think? What do you want to learn from them about the community? That was most of what I've had for you. I pulled up this slide that has a few questions on it. You don't have to answer these specific ones. You can ask other questions if you want, but this is just to get the thought process going and just to prompt some conversation. Is there anything you'd like to hear from us? Do you have any questions for us?
On your community engagement, are you going to have an open house besides doing a survey, or what are your plans?
It's a great question. Anders, do you remember? I believe it's a survey for sure. I do not know of to what level if there will be an open house as well.
I think we'd like as much engagement of the community as possible. So if it takes a couple events, whether it be a survey and an open house, something that we can get a broad scope of seniors, middle age, and our youth. We know that Payson is young comparatively, even though there's a couple silver hairs sitting up here. Payson's relatively old. Or young, sorry. And so I think we need a good cross section, and the way to get that we found over time has been an open house and a survey.
And at least try to get people there.
Yeah.
I mean, some of our open houses are
Yeah.
better attended than others, but
It actually might be a good salmon supper activity.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
because people will be there anyway.
Just have QR codes there. People can sign up.
I would want to make sure to ask them. I know this comes up in a lot of surveys, but what they're willing to pay. Because it's not free. But I can tell you right now, they're going to want a rodeo arena after this last week of discussion on it, Facebook.
For
But
$100 million.
for $100 million. But anyway, that would be my biggest thing is, and then in the process, educating them, maybe seeing like what other cities have done similar and what it costs the residents to do those things. Because you don't want to say like, well, I'm willing to give $5 a month, but what's that really going to get people, I guess? Maybe that.
You know, the ultimate hope with recreation, not only elevating the quality of life mentally for residents and everyone else surrounding, you know, recreation should actually pay dividends financially to the residents too, by them coming here and spending that sales tax money here in Payson. One of the things that stood out like a sore thumb, and Brian mentioned it to me, was our lack of amenities in Payson.
Mm-hmm.
That is something we struggle with so badly. And anything that we can do to help with that, and also I think recreation, it goes both ways too. If people had a place to stay when they came to Payson, I think they'd come recreate here more often too.
Mm-hmm.
And so the push, the big push, we need another hotel in Payson, and a couple more. We have one on the docket, but it's not as serious as I want it to be yet. But we need to continue to elevate all of, and everybody wins when more people come here to recreate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another great thing I saw that you noticed, and I'm grateful you noticed it, was the need of multiple uses in different areas. I think that's so important. I think sometimes some communities or events get too hyper-focused and shut down certain events in certain places or certain activities in certain places. I think that hampers and hurts things. I think the more the merrier to have mixed-use recreation in the same area. I think that's so important. Another one that gets a lot of use that I don't know if I saw in here was actually our Frisbee golf course. Did you see that, or have you heard of that?
That did come up, yes.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that is extremely popular up there too. And so I love that area too. And I call it Beer Can Flats, but Beer Can Flats is a wonderful area for families to go hang out. And you know, that you do horse riding close by. You can do the Frisbee golf. When it snows in Utah, there's water right there too. Not this year, but I think the importance of elevating the ability to have mixed use and multiple uses, but also we need to really push hard and get some more amenities in Payson, because that will drive more recreation.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting that. That's been one of the key points that we've been focusing, and we flashed up some of the mapping of it, but I mean, you could see that some of the food and beverage accommodations right now are not located directly next to trails, or, you know, increasing that connectivity in some ways. We'll have more specific recommendations to come in the future.
I think that could be a good thing too for the chamber of future businesses, to show them, hey, these are high target recreation areas in Payson that is underserved. You could capture some of this money if they had a restaurant or an amenity of some kind that was close by. Because we're losing too much sales tax money in Payson. It's going elsewhere because people don't know where to go, or what we do have is so overused that they show up and it's too busy and they have to leave.
Yeah. Well,
They go to Spanish.
Another thing to look at this too is, I know the library has a few things people can rent, but we need more places to rent, like cross country skiing or something like that, or mountain bikes or ATVs or something. We need that kind of businesses too to attract people here that are visiting that don't bring that stuff. So it's more than just having the amenities but having some so people can use it too. So look at that. And you talked a little bit about winter sports, and I think did you have a chance to talk to the Forest Service yet about that parking they're looking at and where they are on that?
I don't want to say too much. I believe that's probably more in Jill's court to update the council on, but that is, the discussions are ongoing.
Okay.
Can I make one comment? Sorry, council. The one thing that I just wanted to jump in with, going on Councilmember Rowley's comment a little bit about accommodation. One thing, when that map came up about food and beverages and accommodation, we identified the hotel, but was there any consideration given to short-term rentals, like Airbnb and stuff like that?
We did not do a holistic review of it. It's somewhat difficult to find easily accessible data on that.
Okay. I just think that is a viable alternative as well. Something for the council to continue to consider, but yeah, I think it's an important part of recreation and accommodation in our community.
A lot of those 3-story places could become Airbnbs.
Typically those cause me a little bit of heartburn, but I think that would be a valuable data point to have in the survey too, is ask the residents, how do they feel about short-term rentals in order to help elevate Payson recreation opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely.
And see what they think. I don't like it, but maybe the residents like it more than I do.
Councilman Rowley, just to your point, I just wanted to clarify one thing too. With the purpose of this plan isn't solely as a planning tool for the city. This is something we hope can be distributed to members of the public. So to your point of, if you have potential business owners coming in, this could be, we hope, I mean, I would consider it very successful if this is something you could hand to them and say, hey, are you thinking about, connecting to outdoor recreation? This is what it looks like in Payson. This is how you can use it. Yeah.
Look forward to the next phase of it.
Me too.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions, council?
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
You know what we didn't ask you though is time frame of completion.
Oh, thank you. We are expecting the public survey in August.
Okay.
And then we'll have a draft of the final plan in fall or winter.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, council, moving on to item number F. I would accept the motion to adjourn to closed meeting.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Oh,
I make a motion, modify that a little bit. We'll make a motion to adjourn to a closed meeting on July 15th, 2026 at 7:50 p.m. for the discussion of real estate lease, or excuse me, for the discussion of purchase, exchange, sale, or lease of real property.
we needed more details, didn't we? I'll
Have a
second.
motion. Now I have a second, Councilmember Moss. Roll call vote. Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Hewlett.
Yes.
Councilmember Rowley.
Yes.
Councilmember Prosgaard, yes. Councilmember Moss.
Yes.
We're now in a closed session. Thank you, everybody, for being here this evening.